We are the elite.
It's a massive axe he is swinging.
My game plan is to win. What do you mean?
Look at that block. He's going for the drive.
It's become very competitive.
Wow, look at that. What a cut. Holy cow.
I played college basketball, I played college sports, and it doesn't quite compare to doing timber sports. So the concepts are based off of traditional old logging. We're using crosscut saws, we're using axes.
It's not an easy race by any means. I couldn't tell you who's going to win this year.
Another grudge match battle right here at the Milwaukee German Fest.
Erin LaVoie and Martha King are tough to beat.
I want to compete in a way that I leave feeling very satisfied and that I don't have any regrets moving forward.
This could be the closest race of the day.
It's almost sad that when I compete and I win, I love it, but I so quickly just take in, how could I have done that better? What would I have changed? How can I do better at the next one?
There's nothing like being on the STIHL Timbersports stage. The music, the noise, the pressure, the fans. This is an elite stage. The women this year are so strong. The strongest I think that they've ever been. You have to bring your A game.
This is absolute power.
Milwaukee, welcome to the 2024 STIHL Timbersports U.S. Women's Championship. To get things started, let's bring him out. One of the all-time greats in lumberjack sports here in America and around the world. All the championships, all the titles, and all those years being one of the greatest spokesmen for the sport. And to take us through everything that happens today, let's hear it now for the one and the only Super Dave Jewett.
Holy cow. We're back again. 1 year went so fast. I'm psyched. We are back, and I'm always super nervous as long as I've been doing this. So I get nervous. It's crazy. I competed in this sport for 25 years plus, and I was given the name Super Dave Jewett because I was pretty fast running the saw, which is what you're going to see here. I'm going to tell you real quick, though. Tomorrow, the men's semifinal round. Come over for that. We're going to talk about it at the end. On Sunday will be the finals. However, today, this is the Women's National Championships. Absolutely. Thank you for coming out. Thank the women. Thanks, STIHL. We're going to talk about it all day. 30 women applied to be here. Only the top 12 made it. Top 12 women out back. They're going to be doing 2 chopping events, 2 sawing events. It's going to be fast. We had world records broken here last year. I was exhausted at the end of 3 days. Fortunately, STIHL got me some backup. This guy is a great announcer. He's entertaining. If you've done anything embarrassing in public, he's probably made a meme of you. Let's bring him out. This is Dave Johns. Dave, I was just saying how exhausted I was last year when I got the email. Dave Johns was showing up. I go, this is going to be interesting, Dave. Boy, you got so much energy, so much knowledge. Thank you for being here by my side, buddy.
Dude, I cannot believe I'm finally in Milwaukee with everybody. It is going to be an epic weekend here. We're going to sort out our women's champion here tonight, and then we crown our men's champion on Sunday. Dave, I know you've been on this stage so many times. It's got to get the juices flowing for you, man.
It really does. We were talking about it. How much do we want to rehearse? It can only rehearse so much, then it's just organic. It just comes out. The women put on a great show. We also have 2 guys up center stage, high in the sky. We got crosscut world record holder Kevin Holtz, and the man with a golden voice, Tommy Sanders. Hi, guys.
Hey, how you doing, Super Dave? Thank you so much. And Kevin, I tell you what, everyone we've talked to in advance of this 24 U.S. Women's Championship says this is the best 12 who have ever taken the stage. And that's the way it is year after year. Now, we got a couple of newcomers and a lot of performers here that we have seen in action before. Based on what you know, why don't you handicap this field for us?
Well, Tommy, you hit the nail on the head. We have one of the deepest talent pools ever. And of course, at the top of that pool, with her swimmies on, just treading water right now, is Martha King, 3-time national champion, literally batting 500 in this event. She's won half of all the championships that she's entered here. She is looking exceptionally strong here. In interviews this morning, though, she was saying that, she works in the tree care industry in Pennsylvania with her family. And she's, we've had a lot of storms the past couple of weeks. I've been out in the field working. I haven't been training. But you know what? Anybody that works in that industry knows that is a physically demanding job. Erin LaVoie, two-time national champion in her 6 appearances, right there all the time on the heels of Martha King. These two are going to be duking it out head-to-head for the top of that podium. Tommy, you and I were talking about this earlier, though. You think about it in terms of like motorsports, when you look at the leader and the second place, you know, they're out there duking it out in the front of the field. That's just opportunity for a crash. And if somebody's going to crash in that top 2, I'm looking right here at Hanna Quigley. She was our silver medalist last year, put on an amazing show, and she has all the skills, all the talents, and the mindset is coming together so well for Hanna Quigley. I think she's going to be a real threat here this year. And of course, we cannot put this whole competition together without talking about one of the rising stars in this event. And it really kind of like lit the stage on fire by setting the standing block world record, Samantha Graves. Now I know I'm pulling some New York names out of the hat. I'm from New York. These are some of my local favorites, but you can't argue the numbers. The results are there. And so either one of these ladies, and honestly, any one of the 12 competitors here are poised to take on both Erin LaVoie and Martha King and stand on top of that podium.
All right, Kevin, thank you so much. Some of the ones to watch right there. I tell you what, why don't we meet all of them? It's going to be a great day, so we throw it back to you, Super Dave.
Thanks, Kevin and Tommy. Let's bring them out. All the way from Kalispell, Montana, Lauren Bergman.
All right, coming to you from Corvallis, Oregon. Let's give it up for her first time on the Steel Timber Sports Series stage, Erin Cramsey.
And from Attica, New York, she's back and fitter than ever, Alex Miller.
From around Lake, Illinois, let's give it up for Lindsay Down.
From Stratford, Connecticut, Kelly Kerrigan.
Your local girl out of Hayward, Wisconsin. Let's give it up for Kate Witkowski.
She broke the standing block world record last year on this stage from Victor, New York, Samantha Graves.
Hailing out of Hefner, Oregon, let's give it up for Kate Page.
Her last 2 years, she's taken the bronze medal, followed by the silver medal, looking for gold this year from Honeoye Falls, New York, Hanna Quigley.
Coming to you from Pulaski, New York, let's give it up for Emily Brown.
Our two-time overall champion looking for 3 from Spokane, Washington, Erin LaVoie.
STIHL Timbersports Series Women's Champion, hailing from Chadsport, Pennsylvania. Let's give it up to Martha King.
And let's bring out our judges. They're going to be refereeing the competition today. Rich Hallett, Jonathan Russell, and Chris Alba. And at this time, ladies and gentlemen, please rise if you are able. Remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem.
STIHL Timbersports women's competition, all athletes will compete in 4 disciplines. The maximum points awarded for each discipline result from the number of participating athletes. The first discipline is the stock saw. The fastest athlete will receive points equal to the total number of athletes competing, down to 1 point for the last place in each discipline. The second event is the standing block chop. Points remain the same, awarded based on times, and as with all events, any rule infraction will result in a disqualification, and the athlete will receive 0 points for that discipline. As the third discipline, every competitor will need to show their skill in the single butt. And in the underhand chop, it's the athlete's last chance to claim valuable points. The points from all disciplines are accumulated, and the athlete with the highest point total wins the competition. Stock saw. After the starting shot, the contestants have to cut 2 wooden discs, so-called cookies, within a 10-centimeter mark, 1 downward and 1 upward. The attempt is only valid when both discs have been cut off completely and within the marks.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, coming up for the first event of the day, the most difficult mentally, Dave, really is the stock saw. 2 identical saws, MS661s, same engine, same chain, same throttle response, same bar length, exact same logs cut out of the same tree. We've seen it, Dave, how difficult it is, and right out of the gates, perfection or mistakes.
This is one of those events, just like in golf, it's all between the ears in this event. If you go for a putt and you're reading that log wrong and you don't have that ear-eye-hand coordination, a phrase that you've coined over the years with these saws, it can be devastating for the result.
4 inches of wood to make a down cut and an up cut. The saws will be warmed up for 15 seconds, hands on top of the wood, on go. They retrieve the saw, make the down cut and the up cut, and there are cameras everywhere. Eyes in the sky, eyes up front, eyes underneath. GoPros catching any sudden hand movement right down to over 1/100th of a second.
Yeah, and if you move your hips 1/4 of an inch, that means the nose of that saw can move up to 2 inches on the opposite side of that log, which can be devastating, an incomplete cut, or you can cut over that line, and we saw it here last year. The Boo Birds were in full effect. Rich Hallett was throwing the flags. It's a disqualification, Dave.
Yeah, that was something, that was most entertaining. That was the only time I heard the head judge say I was afraid to leave the stage. But we saw that in the men's division. It was called an unsafe start. They need 3 points of contact, either 2 legs of the handle and your back and the top hand. In this case, it was legal. So all the athletes at the competitor meeting this morning were talking about the starts. They're talking about everything, making sure they don't train all year. And I was talking to Hanna Quigley today. She says she has not taken 1 week off from training since Milwaukee last year. So you talk about wanting to win. The want is just everywhere among these top 12 women.
Yeah, and we've seen her compete all around the country so far this year. She is a hungry dog on this stage here this weekend. But some of the ladies from out west, Dave, I'm pretty pumped to see what Lauren Bergman could bring here to the stage this weekend. I got to see her out in the Pacific Northwest last year. She is an animal in the chops.
Talking about the women from out west, let's bring them out for heat number 1 from Kalispell, Montana, Lauren Bergman, and her opponent from Corvallis, Oregon, Erin LaVoie.
Here we go with heat number 1 of the stock saw here. 2 competitors. These are our newcomers. These are rookies, if you call them. The first 2 up are the rookies, and both of them from the western states. Lauren Bergman coming to us from Kalispell, Montana, and from Corvallis, Oregon, Erin LaVoie.
Well, Tommy, as you pointed out, both these competitors new to the timber sports stage, and more importantly, new to what I call the timber sports effect. There are competitions worldwide, across the country, across the continent. None are like this timber sports stage.
This is the big one. They'll warm up the saws. Get ready for the start.
The lights, the music, the crowd. You talk to guys like we talk about Super Dave all the time. This was the one that always used to rattle his head. He could go any world championship, but this timber sports stage is different.
To your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
Good clean starts from trouble though on stand number 2. Cramsey has to go back and double clutch. You see that missing bit of the disc at the top, and trouble. I can't keep up with it all, Tommy. There's just too much mayhem going on in one heat to digest. But this is what I'm talking about. These 2 athletes have, I guarantee you, made thousands of cuts in practice, in competition. But you get to this stage, you see that trophy, you're gunning for the championship. And again, in this stock saw event in particular, you could just throw a blanket over the entire field, all just separated by a few tenths of a second. They are gunning for everything. We got to get Rich more yellow flags out here, though. He's littering the stage.
Yeah, he's out now. He's fully out. Yeah, only 2 cuts, but so much can go wrong during the course.
What we were just talking about. This is that
So, Tommy, it is important, though. We got to point out not all hope is necessarily lost here. There was chaos.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody can deny that. There were saws out of the wood, saws re-clutching, double clutching. Let's hear what Rich has to say.
Okay, we were reviewing a couple of things. Make sure there was a complete disc on this side and that the line was not cut on this side. They were both very close, but both cuts are good.
All right, so a stay of execution for Bergman and Cramsey. Tommy, like I was saying, all hope may not be lost. Those are not good times.
No.
When you have to go back and double clutch and recut and whatever, those are not good times, and both of those competitors know it. But you know what they are, Tommy? They're times.
They're times. They will post.
And
they will
one
post.
DQ is going to...
But you stayed with it,
Let's take it to Dave
there's
Jewett.
there's still heats to come up. Got to get those steel points.
Yeah, usually stock saw is a pretty strong event for me, but it was just a hot mess over there, as you saw. But one thing I'm pretty good at is staying calm and still getting those 2 cookies out.
What happened? Tell us why it is so difficult to make that upcut, because you're sort of hitting wood that's blunt. We're going to repeat that. Tell us again on the upcut. What happened on the upcut you were cutting out? Because it's very difficult to see that wood. You're almost throwing the saw into blind area.
Yeah, usually I line up my body really well, and I thought I had it, but I just was a little crooked coming up, so had to take it a couple times.
Year and a half ago, you tore your ACL. You had to change your chopping technique. The chops are coming up. How are you feeling to make that adjustment?
Feeling pretty good. I've been chopping like that for over a year now, so we'll see how it goes.
Good luck. A big round of applause. Erin Cramsey.
Here's a look at the top of that cut from Erin Cramsey. You see she gets crooked in that block. It was a cutout. She goes back. She fixes it, gets squared up. She will get credit for a complete disc on that one. I believe that was the one the judges were looking at. Then you see she kind of fans the bottom there and catches the edge of the log, turning our attention to Bergman on stand number 1. Up here to the top of the block. Nice, great, got set up, squared up, looking good. The concern here was on the second cut for Bergman, and actually you heard the head judge, Rich Hallett, say that he was concerned she cut over the line. Not a lot of real estate to work with, especially when you booger up the start of it. Now you've got to reshoot, move over further. So not a whole lot of real estate there, and Rich gets really sensitive if you cut beyond that 10-centimeter line.
But both cuts are ruled good, and the best time is going to go to Lauren Bergman. A time of 14.31 and 3.67 seconds back is Erin Cramsey, our first 2 Stock Saw times posted of the day. Beautiful, brilliant day here in Milwaukee. If you saw Super Dave during the interview say, I got to pause for a second. That's because I think it was an F-11 Hornet just flew by about 200 feet off the deck right behind our stage here. Huge air show going on. Everything's going on this weekend. After this event wraps up, just up the hill, a big, big concert, I believe, at the Santana. So it's a big, fun weekend kicking off this Friday. Glad you're with us, though, for the 2024 U.S. Women's Championship STIHL Timbersports.
The field of women now are so competitive that you can't just cross your fingers and get 2 cuts in, 2 clean discs. You have to be right on the go, right on the money, right, good, fast, clean cut, good switch. Staying in the lines is a very big plus. But yeah, it's so competitive that, I think last year, the first 3 10th place women were within a second of each other. And that's kind of amazing.
Well, like I say, Kevin,
Stock Saw from Attica, New York, Alex Miller. And on stand number 2, Round Lake, Illinois, Lindsay Down.
The single buck has been kind of the bane of my existence.
Alex Miller coming into form. Sawyer from New York.
So time to beat right now, right around 14 seconds. Down on the right, Miller on the left.
Warm up your saws.
2022, Alex Miller. At her best finish here, 5th place. STIHL Timbersports U.S. Women's Championships.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Miller on the left, down on the right. Both of these competitors quick, clean to the wood. Looks like good first cuts. This really is a matter of squeezing every ounce you can out of these saws and every ounce you can out of these chains. The chains themselves have a capacity. You can only shove so much wood into the gullets of the teeth on these chains. And so when these competitors really get dialed in, these saws will be absolutely loaded, packed with material.
Let's hear from Rich Hallett.
Nice job. Both cuts are good.
So Alex Miller off to a good start. She will go over and Super Dave Jewett standing by. They're going to have a quick conversation about heat number 2, in which Alex came out on top.
Miller time. Here we are. Alex, great cut. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it felt good. It felt really good. I'm happy to get that one out of the way.
It really is. It's the one you want to get out of the way. It's big points. You know you've done it. You run a chainsaw for a living. You're always right there. You said you're in the best shape you've been in years, but it's really a hand, ear-eye coordination. The real fitness events are still to come. How do you keep yourself calm right out of the gates on such a big stage like this?
Well, you got to laugh, you got to smile, and you just got to be grateful to be here.
Great job, Alex. We'll wait for your official time coming up. Alex Miller, we're going to say she's our leader right now in the stock show.
Let's take a look at this run from Alex Miller. We're working towards what I would call the perfect cut, where you can only get so fast from the wood to the saw, get the saw back up to the wood, get that saw to move through the wood, et cetera, each of those parts and pieces. And our competitors are studying each of those parts and pieces. Miller just executed superbly on that.
Alex Miller, a time of 12.16. Lindsay down, not too far behind, 12.85. Two good cuts, but far off the world record time of a 9.60. The best time this year amongst the women, 10.52.
Yeah, Tommy, I think the timber is there. I think the conditions are there. I would wager we should be hanging out in that mid-10s range, maybe 10 1/4. I don't see any reason why we can't.
Well, the first two heats down. We have 4 more to go in this first discipline. Very first, you got only 4 disciplines during the day, and you got to shake off the cobwebs in this one. Plus, be competitive. Plus, race throughout this whole thing. It's a tall order. Can be very nervous-making for these competitors, as we saw, especially in heat number 1. But now we're ready for our next 2. Going to be Kelly Kerrigan of Connecticut right there. Going up against Catherine Witkowski, the only Wisconsin representative among our 12 hopefuls today. Time to beat is 12.16.
Warm
Alex
up your
Miller.
saws. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Got to talk to some of the athletes this morning during interviews, and both Kelly and I think I know what happened on stand number 2, but we're going to wait and see what judges and timers and the review says on that one. Anyways, I was about to say that both Kelly and Kate made a point in their interviews to talk about their mental preparation for this and just being relaxed and having fun with it. I think Kate maybe I don't want to throw doubt right now. I think I know what happened on stand number 2, but we'll let the judges. Oh, double trouble for stand number 2. There is a flag thrown, maybe for an incomplete cut or cut over the line, in addition to the issues that Kate had. Well, there goes. That negates the issues with the saw.
Looked like 2 complete cuts within the line for Kelly Kerrigan, but we will see. Referee Rich Hallett.
Okay, we had to review this cut over here. Unfortunately, the line was cut. Disqualification. Your cut was good.
Second place. We're going to see what happened in the replay with Kate Witkowski. Kate, you want to talk about that? Kate, tell us what happened. Kate, tell us what happened in that upcut.
Well, it was a down cut that got.
Tell us. We'll go from the beginning then. Yeah, we're only live to the world right now, so I'm allowed to start this over because this is going to be built for a production later on. Kate Witkowski, tell us about what happened on that first down cut.
Okay, the down cut, the saw shut off. I've never had that happen before. The saw shut off, so I pulled it out, restarted it, and kind of shook me up a little bit, and I kind of lost my place. And when I moved over for the upcut, I had just a little bit of wood left, and I unfortunately didn't make the cut within the line.
Why did the saw shut off? Sometimes you can hit the chain brake, sometimes you can hit the choke, sometimes you can hit the button and turn it off, the kill switch. You're saying that didn't happen?
I don't think I hit it, so I'm not sure what happened.
Okay, thanks very much, Kate. Thanks for being a great sport. Kate Witkowski.
There's a look at that run from Kate Witkowski on stand number 2, and unfortunately we can't see the business end of that saw where the kill switch is. 9 times out of 10, it is the operator's thumb that will come up and either hit the saw to choke or bump it up into the off position, and many competitors have been there. I don't know. Here's Kelly Kerrigan on stand number 1. Nice thin disc. A little bit of a foot shuffle there. Still shuffling feet. One of the things you want to do is get your feet in position. Be set. Be steady. She knows she wants to be kind of locked in there a little better. Good thing that first cut was thin, because that second one was a heck of a lot thicker. Not a lot of timber left on the top of that log, but clean cut for Kelly.
Well, Kelly Kerrigan with official time of 14.11, good enough for third place as it stands right now. About 2 seconds behind the leading cut. Alex Miller still with a 12.15. Unfortunately for Kate Witkowski, a DQ. With 4 competitors left to go. Oh, excuse me.
In the stock saw event, I'm getting up there, marking out my lines that I'm going to aim to hit, and just focusing on lining myself up for the cut. And then from there, once I get into the cut, I'm focused on listening to the saw and the amount of pressure that I'm putting on it.
Stock saw the last several of years have been hit or miss. I've DQ'd, I think, twice now at the Steel Series. And so for me, it is focusing on where my eyes are before I start, looking at the handlebar, where I want to grab, and not taking my eyes away until my hands are on the saw, and then looking exactly where I want to place the saw to start my cut.
Competitors, this is going to be heat number 4.
Heat 4 in the stock saw, Samantha Graves and Kate Page. Samantha Graves, that standing block world record holder from Milwaukee.
Samantha Graves of New York. Caitlin Page from Bend, Oregon is on stand number 2. Caitlin Page, the Wildlands firefighter, who has been the case for the last few years, a busy summer. But she thinks that's an advantage coming in here. She says she's prone to overtrain. To get too wound up overtraining. If she comes in just exhausted from firefighting, she seems to do better at certain disciplines.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Kate Page very quick to the wood. Oh, yeah, definitely first through. It's going to be a tough road to hoe here for Samantha Graves to get through the top. Oh. Samantha reels her in on that second cut. What an amazing comeback on stand number 1. Kate Page was first to the timber, first through that first cut, and it really just was Samantha Graves just squeezing a little bit extra out of that saw on that upcut.
All right, nice job. Both cuts are good.
Great cut. I was just saying that. Stand 2, right behind you. You can't see them. You know they're there. You know Kate Page is right there. Been winning that down cut, but stand 1, you just blew away that up cut. Just confidence. Is that up cut get faster because you almost learn the saw through the first cut? You make every adjustment you can on the second cut?
Yeah, going through the first cut, you can kind of feel what the saw can take. So going into your second cut, you can kind of adjust that a little bit. I couldn't hear her behind me, couldn't see her behind me, but I'm happy with it.
And you're so mentally tough. You've got a great training arena in Victor, New York. You train year round. How excited were you to come back to Milwaukee?
I love it here. I was so happy to come back to Milwaukee, so I'm hoping maybe we're here again next year. But
well, you broke a record last year. 3 more events, 3 more potential records. Big round of applause, Samantha Graves. Good job.
Well, let's take a look at that run on stand number 1. Here's Samantha Graves, and her cut did not win the race through the first disc, but reeled it in and just absolutely ripped off this second cut on the up cut. It is a very different sensation. It is a very different experience running this saw down through the block versus back up through the block. The saw is pulling you into the block on the way down because of chain rotation. It is pushing you back away from the block as you come back up through, and you're forcing your body back towards the block.
Well, the official time for Samantha Graves at 12.60. That gets her, about 44 100ths of a second behind our leader, Alexandra Miller. Kate Page going to be tied for third with 12.85. Also less than a second behind our leader. So Lindsay Down and Kate Page tied in the third place spot right now. One of the many, many bridges that make up this beautiful city of Milwaukee, all making their way to Lake Michigan. That's where we're getting our breeze from today. Beautiful day out there. 2 more heats to go on the stock saw. Next heat is going to feature our defending champion going against the silver medalist from last year.
The stock saw event is a slightly intimidating event to start the day because of the mental demand of that event.
they always call it the great equalizer. Anything can happen in that race.
The event takes place in under about 12 seconds, and that includes just getting to the wood with a 661 saw and making the changes on top of a cut.
My goal is to attack it with a mind that is at peace. I've trained this very well. I run a chainsaw every day.
You have to be able to read the wood, hear the saw, and hit very precisely, all in the matter of that time. So it can be fairly difficult, but it's one of the events that when I do well, it really helps me thrive the rest of the day.
5 of the stock saw from Chelmsford, Pennsylvania, our gold medalist from last year, Martha King, and her opponent, the silver medalist from last year. Give it up for Hanna Quigley.
Martha King trying to make it 4 championships. The STIHL U.S. Women's Championship, and Hanna Quigley, very impressive last year in her silver medal finish here.
Yeah, Tommy, she's been on the march. Bronze, silver.
Yeah.
Next stop, gold. I don't know. I'd love to see.
Could well be.
Yeah, I'd love to see how that race turns out.
Warm up your saws.
Time to beat a 12.16. Alex Miller of New York on top. Will that be good enough to take the 12 points?
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Tommy, I just can't imagine that 12.16 is going to hold on. We have too many tough operators. It just seems like that's just going to get blown away. But I don't know. The timber might not be there. The saws might not be there. The operators may not be there. Martha King at 12.9. I don't know, Tommy. Like, I feel like we are poised to be faster than that. I don't know if they are just too much nerves. I don't know what's going on.
Definitely not had someone get even into the 11 so far this day. That's unofficial, though. Wait on those official times while Rich Hallett makes the
Okay,
pronouncements.
nice job. Both cuts are good.
Quick word with Martha King. Watch her replay right now on this upcut. Real quick. All right, let's do it. Here we go. Great cut. But you know you're chasing Alex Miller, but you really can't chase, can you? You have to just do your job. You said in the interview this morning, you want to have fun, you want to be happy, you want to enjoy the sport. This is a lifelong passion, and this is a massive test out here to what you say. Talk about the cut. Beautiful thin cut, by the way.
Thank you. Yes, I wanted to make sure that I took a thin enough cookie because my starts at home, I've been taking some pretty fat cookies, and I wanted to have that piece, and I felt that piece, but still, the intensity of the situation is so great. I can't focus on the times that other people put down, because if I try to chase, that's when you can make mistakes. I got to focus on what I'm able to do, run my best race, and I'm very grateful that I came out with a pretty good time.
You had a stance adjustment from 2023 to this year. Did you fully take advantage of that? I just noticed, we're going to do that again. You said in an interview this morning you adjusted your stance for the start from 2023 until today. Talk about that.
Well, I wanted to make sure that I was more in line with the saw. I want as minimal body movement as possible, but I don't know if I felt that today or not. It's just chaos up there. So great cut, Martha. Congratulations. We'll wait for your time coming up. I think you're going to be in the top 3. Good job. We'll let you get ready for the next event.
Well, here's that run from Martha King. I love what she's talking about in terms of minimizing body movements. In the interview this morning, it was kind of actually post-camera. Dave and Martha and I were talking about the stock saw event, and she said that she was moving sideways off the log, bringing her hands down, and really worked on coming straight back off the log, minimizing that lateral movement, kind of cleaning things up. The less complicated you can be, the less opportunities there are to mess up.
Well, Martha King, official time is actually 12.71, which has her in 3rd place in the standings with 1 heat remaining. Now, Hanna Quigley, uncharacteristically, down there in 8th place as it stands right now, only 15.48. That's 3.3 seconds behind our leader. Alex Miller of New York still on top in the stock saw. Again, 1 heat remaining.
It's funny, every year the first year coming into this, all the girls just wanted to get a clean cut. It was just a safe, slow, get to the wood, make your 2 cuts, and walk away happy. I tried that 2 years ago, and I lost my ass in it because it turned into a racing game. People were starting to get really good, and the times are getting fast. So this year, I just want to pick up the saw, get into the wood as quick as I can, and then I'm going to race while I'm in the wood. I find that when I'm on the go and they say go, it's easy to get like the yips. Like all of a sudden you just tried something too hard. So I'm just going to be cool and calm, grab my saw, get it to the wood, and then race while I'm in the wood.
6th and final heat of the stock saw, Emily Brown and Erin LaVoie. Facing the stage, Brown on your left, LaVoie on your right. LaVoie hunting down
New York, going up against the former champion. Personal best for Erin LaVoie in 11.25. That might be good enough to get the job done here today if she can duplicate that time.
Yeah, Tommy, we've been seeing the times just melt away. I was under the assumption we were going to continue to see the times melt away, and they haven't yet.
No.
Warm up your saws. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh, trouble on stand number 1 for Emily Brown. She is double pumping into the top of that log. I don't know what's going on here today. I don't know if this is the nerves, the pressure of this stage, but exceptional operators are having unexceptional days.
Yeah, Erin LaVoie there, you saw how close she got to that blue line. If she cut that line, that is going to be a DQ, so we'll have to just wait it out. Rich Howlett, our official, is going to expect hers, and now Emily Brown's on stand number 1, and he is, we think, ready to come up and deliver his verdict.
Okay, unfortunately, DQ on this side, cut line. Your cut was good.
Awesome. 6 heat. That means a lot. When you're putting the 6 heat, that means we're bringing the best to last. Great cut. It's very close. I was watching the unofficial time. It was right around 12-2, 12-1, 12-2. It's not going to matter. 12-1-6 is what you're chasing. You're going to be in the top 2. You look confident. I like how you were standing up, though. A lot of the athletes are bent down. You stood up, but you were fast into the wood.
I'm kind of momentum. I like momentum. I hate to be stalled out and not moving and then all of a sudden jump. I feel like I get the yips, you call it. So when I am like sitting here waiting down low, waiting for that go, I just kind of lock up and freeze. But I wait until a certain number on the countdown, and that's when I ease into position. And it's continuous motion and movement for me, and that kind of just keeps me calm and just moving and flowing, feeling the wind in my hair.
Get ready, you got a chopping event coming up. Thanks again for the great interview. Erin LaVoie, all the way from Spokane, Washington.
Well, and all kinds of chaos there on stand number 1. Tommy, one word for it is pandalirium.
Okay.
Just missed the top of the log, reshot, but didn't move over far enough, and she had to go back in for a third time. Here's another look at it from a little farther back. Skips off the end of the log, again, trying to stay thin. Now, at this point, debatable whether that would have been counted as a complete disc because she shredded the top of it. I didn't see a piece break away. Had to go back in through a third time. That still was not counted as a complete disc. Erin LaVoie, though, on stand number 2, gets up, puts in a great, clean, technical cut. Today, that is what it's all about.
Pretty flawless right there for Erin LaVoie, and it pays off. The official time puts her on top with a 12.06. 12 points she will collect in this first discipline, the stock saw. Emily Brown, our second DQ of the day, unfortunately, so she's got a little bit of a mountain to climb for the remaining 3 disciplines here. So Erin LaVoie on the quest to add another championship to her trophy case. Will she be able to hang on? We've got 3 more disciplines, as we say, coming up. We've got chopping on the way. We come back.
Make your first move with battery power made by STIHL. Right now, save $50 on select AK System battery tool sets. Real STIHL. Find yours.
Let's roll. Let's go.
When we work in harmony, anything is possible.
Duluth Trading Company was born from generations who showed us that the only way to live life is to live it hands-on.
To do it the hard way. To take the trail untrodden. To take the damn thing apart, put it back together, and have the world be better for it.
We don't think that the go all in, dig deep, and get your hands dirty spirit exists in everybody.
We know it does. Duluth Trading. Take on life with your own 2 hands.
Your local Ace is the largest national retailer of STIHL power tools. Gas or battery, you won't find this full lineup at a warehouse store. You can find it at Ace. And right now, save up to $50 on STIHL trimmers and mowers.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
First seat of them. First. Test. Here we go. Here we go. First seat of the women's standing block, Lauren Bergman and Erin Cramsey.
Okay, heat number 1 of the standing block chop. That is the 4th as of the last few years of the disciplines here. The 4th one added through the years. Lauren Bergman going up again against Erin Cramsey as they did in the stock saw. Lauren Bergman from Montana, Kalispell, Montana. Erin Cramsey from Corvallis, Oregon. Erin had some trouble in the stock saw.
Athletes ready.
10th place. Did not DQ, but posted a high time. Lauren Bergman
3,
in 8th.
2, 1, go!
Yeah, good on both these competitors for staying in the fight in that stock saw. With those DQs, even a bad time was still a time. Again, Tommy, you pointed out the standing block is a relatively new discipline to the timber sports stage. Bergman around first. Great looking cut going to the back of the block. The front got a little bit away from her. One hit there. You can see at the bottom kind of step down away. It looks like Bergman's going to be going into drive near middle, reaching far, not ready to go yet. There it is. Well, Tommy, a sharp contrast to the performance in the stock saw. Bergman just put on a clinic in this standing block.
Obviously ready to go. Erin Cramsey, a little more difficulty on her side on stand number 2, but Lauren Bergman serving notice that she's going to be a chopping a contender for sure in these women's championships.
Nice job. Both cuts are good.
Lauren, let's get right into it. Dave Johns, my co-announcer, whispered in my ear right before you went. He said, beware. Bergman, she can swing the axe, and she is an animal. I love the emotion. Tell us about that cut. Speed, power, accuracy, fearless chopping.
Yeah, today my plan was just to make it cut, make it count, make each hit count, and I feel like I did that pretty good today.
Pretty good. You're only 2 seconds from the world record. You think you could cut that better. I saw places where you can gain, and that's what makes a terrifying athlete, is when they're flirting with the world record and it wasn't a perfect cut.
Yeah, that was definitely not a perfect cut. I'm happy with it for sure, but I know I can do better.
I love it. I love the emotion. I can't wait to see the replay. Congratulations. Single buck coming up next. Keep it going. Keep that ferocity.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Give it up.
Well, Dave Jewett wants a replay. Let's give Dave Jewett a replay. Let's look at my favorite part of this standing block, and it's the back side, the second face. One hit got away from her. You see that down hit on the far side is stepped in too low and came in flat. That's something that she can pick up, she can fix. She decided to run that new line, set up a smaller face. The bottom of that block, those upward hits, are absolutely chasing one right after the other in. She goes into a driving pattern, one more to the far, drives it off clean. And as Dave pointed out, it's a great cut. Couple seconds off the world record with major room for improvement still.
Lauren Bergman, 32.38 to take the top points as it stands right now with one heat down. Erin Cramsey, a 55.11.
The standing block, I think it's not my favorite event. It's not my best event, and that's probably why it's not my favorite.
Standing block has been really tough for me this year. My mid-back has been like really tight, and I've been having a lot of difficulty like making that rotation.
I am relatively new at the standing block, so that one has been harder for me to wrap my head around and perform well.
I've been doing a lot of acupuncture and getting a lot of chiropractic adjustments, so that's been helping a lot, and hopefully that'll help today.
The women have been really like honing on their skills, getting better and better. Samantha Graves just had the world record last year in the standing block, and that's pretty amazing. But it's not my favorite event, so I kind of just want to like black out and not think about it, and then move on to the next one.
Second heat of the women's standing block, Lindsay Down and Kelly Kerrigan.
Lindsay down of Round Lake, Illinois. Lindsay down with pretty good, right in the middle of the pack in her stock saw cut to start her day off there. She starts here with 6 points, a couple of points back. Kelly Kerrigan. Kelly Kerrigan, who lives on the Housatonic River in Connecticut. Likes it there because she can hunt and fish in that part of the state.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
A lot of our female competitors not having stellar performances in the stock saw. You've got to leave that behind. That is over. That is done. Now it's time for some standing block chop action. Kelly Kerrigan, a great looking swing, great slope, great approach. Shoulders turned in parallel with the head of the axe. Really laying in some hits there. Great looking front face on that block. Opening drives lined up well, got a little bit away from her. I think that's a little bit lower than she'd want to be on the backside of that log. The back face needs to step up on the second side of this log. That lets you drive into fresh, clean air as you drive through into the front side of the log. You see the hits getting a little bit steep, a little flat, hitting a little more direct there on the top. Great slope on the bottom. Kelly's got to get some pressure behind this axe as she goes for the drive. It is breaking. There it is. Kelly Kerrigan. You can see the lines in the top of that block. Every single hit. That axe has damage. That took maybe a little metal out of it from hitting the metal of the stage. And there is the whistle. Time limit for this discipline and the underhand chop, 1 minute 30 seconds. Time has elapsed. She is not going to be allowed to finish the block.
Okay, your cut was good. DQ over the time limit.
So it's unfortunate for Lindsay Dunn from Round Lake. Broke that axe, and when you hit the axe, it just does not want to cut. I'll get a quick word. Kelly Kerrigan. Lindsay, looks like you got your, I call it getting your daily dose of iron. That axe scooped down. Hit your stand, hit that iron stand. It's unfortunate, but you had the foresight. You said, look, I've got an axe full of boxes that cut. You weren't real confident in the standing, and you said you weren't going to use your best axe today. You're not the only one this happens to. It happens to the best where you scoop. Thank goodness you didn't get hurt. You've got guards on. Talk about what happened and what causes that scoop.
Well, I think first I was just really nervous. This isn't my strongest event. So I think my brain was going a little bit faster than my body, but the scooping happened because I just had too much angle on my axe. So instead of
on the down hit? On
the down hit. So instead of presenting it at a nice angle, I went too far, so it just scooped it out. So, I mean, this isn't for the weak-hearted. This is a tough competition. It really stinks that that's how it worked out for me today, but that's okay. Next up, move on. Yeah, your best event is coming up. Lindsay Dunn, one of the best single buckers in the world. That event just a few minutes away. Go breathe, Lindsay. Your lips are a little purple. Get some oxygen. Get back there. Get ready for the single buck.
Well, Lindsay down with all kinds of trouble on that one right there. Kelly Kerrigan was not looking forward to the standing block either because of back troubles over the past year and was having trouble getting sort of worked back into shape from that, but was able to post a time, minute 15.52. That's about 40, just under 45 seconds back of our leader. Continues to be Lauren Bergman of Montana. The rookie, the first timer in these championships, sitting on top with a 30-32. 38. It's
awesome to be on the stage because you know you've been training and it all just came down and you're like, you look at the field and you're like, you're gonna have to go to beat that. third heat of the standing block chop, Kate Witkowski and Alex Miller.
There they are. Kate Witkowski is going to be on stand number 1. Had some trouble in the stock saw. Had to sustain a DQ in that one. Alex Miller, good effort in the stock saw. Alex sitting in a good spot overall. Second place. Heading into this second discipline of the day, the standing block again. And Alex
athletes
looking
ready.
To be back in full force
Stand
this year,
to your timber.
2024.
3, 2, 1, go!
I tell you what, Tommy, I might want to modify that whole handicapping thing I did at the start of the show, because Alex Miller, a second in the stock saw, and is a great standing block cutter. She is really getting the train and movement to pick up a whole bunch of points. Kate Witkowski is right there with her, though, in the turn. I think Miller did just a little more homework, though. Witkowski's going to have to drive a little bit harder to get that. Oh, Witkowski got a little bit out of control in those upward hits. She's pinched in. I think she can break it, though.
She's going to get it.
There it is, Kate Witkowski. Just powering through the second half of that block. Really got herself pinched in, ran out of cuttable wood, and just had to just absolutely power through the back of that block.
Both cuts are good.
Kate Witkowski, fit. You're fit again this year. The back's feeling better. You're looking great. I love that chop because you load the axe. It seems like you get the axe back and you load it and your body is moving and it's a full body delivery. Is that something you've been working on?
Yeah, definitely. Getting my whole body into it, getting my hips into it, my core, making sure I'm delivering the axe, almost throwing it into the block is something I've really been working on, and it is fun to throw the axe into the block on that one.
It's awesome. It looked like you were having fun out there. Only 1 second behind Bergman. Just a few seconds off the world record. I just love watching you hunt it down. Great job.
Thanks, Dave.
There you go, Kate Witkowski, unofficially sitting in second place right now with 3 heats to go.
Let's take a look at the second half of the block for both of these competitors. You see Alex Miller there in the background opening bigger than what her lines indicated. Kate Witkowski, though, opening much smaller than her lines indicated. That leaves you a lot less cuttable wood. That means those hits, if you're going to make it to the center of the log, have to start rolling in and go more across the grain, more perpendicular to the grain. It also gives you less cuttable wood to shoot for. So good job, Kate Witkowski, sticking with that and plowing through the middle of that log. That was almost set up for failure right at the start of that second half. She stayed with it. She rolled in the hits. She stayed super accurate through the end of that block and drove through the guts of it.
Yeah, reeled it in on the second half there. Kate Witkowski, who had a rough go of it in the stock saw, making up big-time ground there, we think, at least in the early going here in the standing block chop. Just a second and some change behind our leader, Lauren Bergman.
Heat 4 of the women's standing block, Kate Page and Hanna Quigley.
Caitlin Page going to be going on stand number 1, the Wildlands firefighter there in Oregon, originally from Montana, went to school up in Montana, started competing up there. And Hanna Quigley, an uncharacteristically slow start in the stock saw after such a great effort last year, a medal stand effort in the silver in 23.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go! go!
And Tommy, this is the sophomore album for Hanna Quigley. Like you said, silver medal last year, a far from typical performance in the stock saw. She is a great standing block cutter and is presenting the axe well for the most part. One hit way high, though, on the front side of this log. We've got to see her get rid of the nerves, settle in, move on from that stock saw, and just get the competition life together here on stage. Kate Page is not waiting around, though, on stand number one. She put in a huge
There
front.
we go.
Quigley, though, is going to pull out a 31-second and change. Here's what we're talking about with that run from Kate Witkowski. Kate Page finds herself in the same situation, almost an oversized springboard pocket in the back of that log. That does not give you a lot of forgiveness. There's not a big target there to throw that axe into.
Both cuts are good.
And check out the face of Quigley. Absolute determination. There you are. Hanna, what a cut. You know, I love it. Bergman laid down 32 seconds. You took the challenge. You delivered. You are in the lead. I know you're frustrated from the stock saw. But when you got into this sport in college, standing block was your event, and you're going for it.
Yeah, this is the event I'm just so psyched for. I didn't compete as well as I wanted to last year. So I was, especially after this lattice event, ready to give it my grr.
You're one of the best standing block choppers in the world. What an honor. You got the phone call to come over to Holland and coach. So what a compliment that is. How was that to get that call? What a feeling.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing. This semester, I coached a collegiate team, and I had the opportunity to go overseas and coach some of the women and men in Europe, and it was amazing. It's just really cool to get connected with the other athletes around the world and get a chance to see what they're up to, what their thoughts are on different events. So I learned a lot from that, too.
Great job in the standing. Hanna, you're unofficially in the lead. Got 2 events to go. Big round of applause for Hanna Quigley from Honeoye Falls.
Well, the front side of this log got away from Hanna a little bit. You can see the hits sort of sprayed around, especially one downward hit way up high on the front side of that log. She gathered it up, though, couple of sticks in the back side of this block, and settled in. Got the nerves out of the way in the front side of the log, ends up posting a really solid time.
Hanna Quigley bringing it down at 31.52, moves her right to the top in the standing block chop. You heard her say it. This is one she was mostly looking forward to improve on last year's effort, and that is what she has done. And she stands atop with 2 heats left. Hanna Quigley on top of the standing block.
Coming second event into the standing block, I've been working on that down hit quite a bit and getting more and more confident in that hit. In the beginning it was, please don't hit my axe, please don't hit my axe, and now it's just, okay, I'm going to unleash some power and I want to rip through that one.
5th heat of the women's standing block, Emily Brown and Erin LaVoie.
Last year's bronze medalist Emily Brown going up against Erin LaVoie. Multiple championships on the women's side here, and Erin LaVoie, our points leader, coming into the standing block with her superlative performance in the stock saw. Going to shoot for the time of 31.52 that we just saw laid down by last year's silver medalist Hanna Quigley.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Well, Tommy, when you had that last leaderboard up in the standing block, I couldn't help but notice the number of PBs, personal bests from our athletes. This is a fairly new discipline, and they are just taking the bull by the horns and just honing technique, finding ways to pick up hits, save time. Erin LaVoie not showing a great fast swing speed, but putting the hits where they need to go. Emily Brown on stand number 1, absolutely putting great power behind that axe. Will be about 2 hits away from driving it off. Emily Brown, 32-second range.
Nice job. Both cuts are good.
Emily, great cut. Again, you're right there. We don't know right now if you're going to be, you should be right around second or third. You're right around 32 seconds. We're going to wait. Tell us about that cut, especially rebounding after that stock saw.
Well, I didn't have a great stock saw, but I'm excited with how I cut that. I just went in with the mentality to have fun. That's why we're all here. So.
And prior to the tournament, they allowed you to come out and you can test your axes. What are you looking for when you test your axes? How did you choose the axe that you just ran?
I listen to the sound, and whichever axe is the most free, that's a top priority for me, so I'm not sticking.
Thanks, Emily. Single buck coming up. Big round of applause. Emily Brown, we'll see where she sits in the standing block. Here's that replay, and she just puts her right about a hit and a half ahead of LaVoie.
Here we are to the backside of the block for both of these competitors. Emily Brown on the near side opens 2 and 2 in this standing block cut, overlapping the hits a bit. You can see they start stepping in. That's where this face starts to get small. You start running out of cuttable wood. Does a good job cleaning up here through the middle, though, and starts chasing those hits. Oh, except for that one. Stepped way down into the inside of it as she's looking to drive.
Well, Emily Brown, time of 32.33, puts her in second place, tucked up right behind Hanna Quigley right there, and Erin LaVoie, who got the top spot in the stock saw, coming down with a 37.84, that's 6.5 seconds behind our leader.
Standing block can be a great event for me. I've also smashed a number of axes as I've been working on my technique. After setting the world record last year, I know that that's something I can accomplish. So when I get up there this year, I am just going to try and do the same thing but put a little more pace to it. I think a lot of us thought that adding the standing block was going to make things a little bit easier, but there are some women who they are very, very strong in that event, so I think it's really shaken up the field. But it's awesome to have another event and to showcase our strength and ability.
Final heat of the standing block chop. Our champion from last year, Martha King, versus the world record holder, Samantha Graves.
Here we go, Martha King on stand number
nobody
1.
will be
Defending
touching.
champion here. Had a little bit of a downfield finish there, around 5th place in the stock saw. So she'll be looking to improve this time around, but it's going to be hard. You're going to be taking on the world record holder. Set that mark of 30.02 seconds last year in the standing block, Samantha Graves of Victor, New York.
To be fair, Tommy, and I'm a big Samantha Graves fan, but to be fair, Martha King, her personal best is like 30.9.
Ready.
So she's right there on world record pace herself.
3,
Not a lot of daylight between these two.
Go!
Which is why they're our marquee matchup. They're in heat number 6, our two best standing block cutters. One of my concerns for Samantha Graves is that she's going to come in here with the anticipation that she needs to beat her own record. She has to cut this block to the best of her ability. It may not be a world record block. Martha King around to the backside of this block around the 16-second mark. That means it should be coming off around 32, 33 seconds unless she's got something up her sleeve. Martha King looking to drive. Chips one more time, goes into a downward pattern. No new world records today. Martha King coming in right around the 33-second mark. Samantha Graves, a really rough-looking front face. She knows, I think that was too much Samantha Graves in Samantha Graves' own head. She was looking for that to break her own record. I think she's more than capable of breaking that record. Today just wasn't the day.
Both cuts are good.
Martha, I can't wait to do this interview. I was watching your face on the countdown. You're bouncing up and down, and then you just had this, as you said, oh man, I rehearsed this since last year and I'm going to blow it. We're going to redo it though. You're looking into that block and wow, damn it, I wrote it in my notes too. Well, I'm going to blow this interview. I'm going to blow it to in front of the whole world. Talk about that cut. I'm watching your face going into the countdown on 3, 2, 1. You're bouncing up and down, you're ready to go, and then this face of just determination and anger into that log right around 33 seconds. Great cut.
Thank you. I'd like to say it's not anger, but focus and drive. So that block was a lot more firm than I was expecting, so it needed a bit more. And thankfully I have great gear and great coaching to help me through.
And you bring 2 axes up on stage. Why is that?
In case you smash one, because I've done that quite a few times. I used an axe that I smashed a couple weeks ago just because it was just a little bit lighter, and I broke off a piece that I didn't use anyway.
And sometimes that happens. You break the axe. Maybe a friend of yours like Mike Ash, the famous Mike Ash axe grinder, regrinds it. Suddenly it's lighter. Suddenly you can run it faster. Oh, here you go. Let's bring her up.
We just kind of left it as is.
Oh, so if we can get the camera to get that shot right in here, you can see the top of that $600 axe absolutely blown off, but it worked out today.
It was the better cutting axe, so I needed to use it, and I knew that it cut very competitively a couple weeks ago. I was comfortable with it, so I had to run with it.
Great job, and we're going to do another interview, and I'm going to clean it up later on, and we won't have to mess up, because it is live streamed to the world. So when I screw up, I like to make sure the whole world's watching. Great job.
Well, here you have it. 3-time STIHL Timbersports champion Martha King on the near side. Standing block world record holder Samantha Graves on the far side. What a marquee matchup for these two athletes. Different strategy, though, for Martha King on stand number 1 as she opens 1 and 1 and then starts chasing those corners in. There you can see it again, though. Those hits start to step up, runs out of cuttable timber, and starts to put in some flatter hits and bore her way in. Great presentation towards the end, though. Stays in the block, gets the job done, drives through cleanly at the end.
And Martha King there, good effort. 32.99 is her official time now. That puts her in 4th place. So Martha King there being very, very consistent today. You add that to her 5th place finish in the stock saw, and we've got the total points for you right now. And we'll show you that in just a minute. But I can tell you that we've got the 2-time champ, Erin LaVoie, and the 3-time champ, Martha King, right at the top.
Power through your to-do list. And create a space that really makes a splash. Right now, save $30 on the FS56 RCE trimmer. Real STIHL. Find yours.
Duluth Trading Company was born from generations who showed us that the only way to live life is to live it hands-on.
To do it the hard way. To take the trail untrodden. To take the damn thing apart, put it back together, and have the world be better for it.
We don't think that the go all in, dig deep, and get your hands dirty spirit exists in everybody.
We know it does. Duluth Trading. Take on life with your own 2 hands.
Let's roll, let's go. Let's
When we work in harmony, anything is possible.
Am I going? Good. First heat of the women's single buck, Lauren Bergman and Erin Cramsey.
All right, another matchup between our two competitors from the West Coast, both of them first-timers here. These U.S. Women's Championships are 2024. From Montana, Lauren Bergman. From Oregon, Erin Cramsey.
So Tommy, I don't know what to expect at this point. I mean, we talked about the rookies coming out, stock saw, the lights, the noise, the music, the crowd, the stage. Stock saw, the wheels fell off the cart. I wasn't surprised. It's a tough mental event. This is a tough mental environment. Okay, saws go away, axes come out, time for the standing block. Bergman says, forget this rookie stuff, forget the noise, forget the lights. Throws down a 32-second standing block time. Just sort of reset the whole mood of this rookie mentality.
Very good rookie performance so far. She's in the top 5 in points, which means she is very much within striking
Athletes
distance.
ready.
Getting near
Stand to your
podium
timber.
status at the end of
3,
it all. But here
2,
we go with Heat 1. Stock
go!
Tell you what, I love what I see from Erin Cramsey on stand number 2. And Bergman as well on stand number 1. That entire saw going to work. Trouble on stand number 2 though. Cramsey getting a little bit off angle. I also see Cramsey, her saw is cutting towards the inside of the log a little bit. The bottom of the disc thicker than the top. That pitches the saw to the side. It can cause the nose of that saw to lay over, and then you get like tail slap on the pull stroke coming back in. Didn't hear it from here, but again, this is timber sports environment. Music, noise, loud crowd. It's hard to tell what was going on down there.
Both cuts are good.
Great cut, Erin. You're in a family of sawyers. I competed with your father growing up, one of the best sawyers I've ever seen. Talk about that, how you grew up in the sport, especially in this single buck. It was a beautiful cut, slight hang, quick recovery.
Oh gosh, well yeah, growing up, saws and axes were all over the place, and it was the first event I ever learned. So it's been a long road. I used to hate it, used to hang all the time. So been a bit to learn how to run it smooth and how to recover.
And you cut different species all over. You cut larch, you cut Douglas fir, West Coast white pine. What do you think about this East Coast white pine coming out of West Virginia?
Oh, it's cutting pretty nice.
It's fast, a lot of records broke, but a great cut.
Thank you.
All right, big round of applause. Erin Bergman in the lead in the single buck with 5 heats remaining.
Let's take a look here at the run on stand number 2. Cramsey there putting a clinic on in the single buck. Love to see that handle come in a little bit further and extend those arms out. But again, that was after the hang up. That was part of the recovery period. It's hard to reset and get back into position.
Erin Cramsey competing since she was 15 years old there in Oregon. Super Dave talked to her about her family, that family tradition, and where she got her start in the sport, and she is, for now, on top, first heat. Down in the single buck in Erin's time of 19.79 officially. Lauren Bergman with the 21.14 in second place.
The single buck has been kind of the bane of my existence a little bit.
As long as the saw isn't too heavy, for the most part, I can pull any saw. I do get nervous in the back of my mind about always having new equipment, but I really trust the people who lend me equipment, so I never doubt that it's going to be of poor quality.
It's my favorite event, and it's when I can put all the pieces together, I think I can do really well. But I've been having a little bit of difficulty, I think, between single bucking and double bucking. I've been kind of mixing up the two techniques a little bit and getting the saw hung up a little bit more than I'd like. So I don't know. We're just going to run it and see how it goes.
Heat 2 of the women's single buck, Kate Page and Kelly Kerrigan.
Caitlin Page on block number 1. Kelly Kerrigan of Connecticut on block number 2. Caitlin Page kind of middle of the field in the stock saw competition. Fell down a little bit in the standing block chop. She's in 8th place for points right now, and right behind her, actually 2 points behind her, places behind her, Kelly Kerrigan in 10th in total points as we start.
See a little bit of the startup operations for this single buck event. The judges mark a 25-centimeter arc on the top of this log. Gets the teeth of that saw down in the block. Make sure the competitor's starting square, straight.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Very different starts for both these competitors. You see Kelly Kerrigan on stand number 2, almost all the way into the wood. Big, huge pull stroke. Kate Page, stand number 1, starts in the middle of the saw. Very different techniques. Kelly Kerrigan with a very Dave Jewett-esque sort of stroke, sucking the nose of that saw back in. Kate Page just powers through the bottom of that log.
Both cuts are good.
Ready to go? Let's do this. Kate, Dave Johns was just telling me, we were talking about these saws costing around $3,000, that you actually damaged one of your saws. So did you have to call an audible at the last second? And is this one of your saws? Did you have to borrow it?
Yeah, so I just bought a brand new saw for about $2,000, and last week was testing it some pine and found a screw in my block and broke some teeth out of the belly. So I called David Moses Jr. crying. And he lent me a saw for the trip, so I'm very, very thankful for that.
It was a great cut. You and Kelly were dead even, but the second half of the log, you just seemed to power through. But you really have to have confidence running these big plates, don't you?
Yeah, this is a 6'3" saw, so I don't have a lot of practice on this long of a saw, so I knew I had to not try to muscle it and let the saw do its work.
Impressive cut. You're in the lead. Big round of applause from Heppner, Oregon, Kate Page. There you go.
Well, a very expensive training session for Kate Page, damaging her saw, hitting a screw in her training block. Big thanks to David Moses, though, she said, who loaned her this saw as she powers down through the bottom of the block. Technique for technique, I got to give it to stand number 2 and Kelly Kerrigan. That was a cleaner, more technically sound cut. Kate Page, though, just willed that saw down through the block. Cleaning up a few. There you see it. That face at the end says it all. She knows there was more to it than what she put on the stage today.
Kate Page official time of 17.25, good enough for the top spot, and just right behind her, Kelly Kerrigan with a 17.61.
Single buck has kind of cursed me over the last couple years. My first year I showed up with not a great saw. And even though I ran it smoothly, I think I came off last in that event. It was probably the slowest time I had up to that point, and I was pretty disappointed in that. Last year I showed up with a brand new saw. But being a new SI, I hadn't put the time in on it, so I was a little unfamiliar with how it ran. And this year, I'm going to be probably running that same saw, but I've had a whole season getting to know it and learning how to run it.
Heat 3 of the single buck, Samantha Graves and Alex Miller.
Samantha Graves on stand number 1, single buck, heat number 3 here, going up against Alex Miller. Alex Miller had a good start in the stock saw and had a little bit of trouble there in the standing block.
Tommy, the trend in timber sports is less and less support, more and more individual effort. A handful of years ago, they took away the wedge and the spray in the men's division. We are working that way in the women's division as well. This is the last year for a helper and wedge here in the women's division. So these competitors, when the saw is coming down through the wood, you'll see their helpers apply a wedge at the top. That is to hold the disc open just slightly at the top so it doesn't pinch on the saw. For a period of time, the belief was these saws will never run without a wedge. Well,
athletes
guess
ready.
what? They will.
Stand
just a little different.
to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Both Samantha Page and Alex Miller, stand 1, stand 2. Very similar starts. Samantha Page, though, just putting the pace to it. Miller being a little more deliberate about pressure. A little bit of a hang-up, though, as she is coming with just a little more heel on that saw. Samantha Graves through the bottom of that log, showing a time around 16:23 on the unofficial clock.
Both cuts are good.
Awesome cut, Sam. Level. I like where you started the saw. Fearless to have all that metal hanging out and make that first big pull off the top. You have to be confident and fearless, and then you just rode it level, all the teeth, textbook. That's how I like to cut. You did it. I don't know what you could have done better. Do you?
I had maybe 1 or 2 strokes that maybe I short stroked it a little. I didn't push or pull at the saw the whole way, so that could have cut down a little time for me.
And the wood, it varies. It's soft white pine, but you can have real soft white pine. You can have white pine where it's just like, I got to go. I got to keep going. Just hang in there. Everyone's cutting the same log. How you feeling about the wood here this weekend?
My standing block maybe felt a little firm. The sawing wood has been pretty nice, so I thought that was pretty beautiful wood.
It was a great cut. Can't wait to see the official time. You're in the lead with the Underhand Chop. One event coming. One event left to go. We're going to let you rest up and we'll watch the replay. Great job, Samantha. Samantha Graves from Victor, New York. Here's that start off the top.
Samantha Graves, as she gets that saw started in the top of the block. Not the standing block cut she wanted. This was redemption for her after a couple of very tough years in this single buck event. So this is one of the things is we're seeing our competitors, put together individual disciplines. It's going to come down to who puts together the most individual disciplines. They're going to end up on top of the podium. You take Samantha's standing block cut from last year, put it together with a single buck from this year, and boy, we'd be in pretty good shape right now. There you see that wedge applied from her husband, Brandon. That is going to be the last year you see those wedges on the stage here for our women's division.
Seeing a bit of history here. It's the last wedges. And Samantha Graves, who disappointed by the event she was pointing to, that was the standing block, the previous discipline. Really kind of able to get a little back on this one, maybe a lot back as it stands right now. She's on top with an official time of 16.03. Alex Miller in 4th place, her time 17.80.
The single buck event, every muscle, every inch of your body is working at max capacity the whole time. There's no break in the single buck event. So this year my strategy with single buck is just smooth, trying to let the saw do the work rather than trying to really crank on it and put a lot of weight on the saw and make it work. I'm just gonna hopefully be kind to my body in that event this year.
Fourth heat of the women's single buck, Emily Brown and Kate Witkowski.
Here comes Emily Brown, last guy in New York, going up against Kate Witkowski. Kate with a rocky start. Stock saw, got a little bit back there. In the standing block, looking to keep that trend going here in the single buck. Brown, the DQ, stock saw as well. So both of these competitors trying to make up for the problems in the first discipline.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Brown on stand 1, Witkowski on stand number 2. Brown off to a bit of a rough start. Witkowski not waiting around. Oh, trouble for Witkowski. Just a slight change in angle of that saw will hang a raker on either the near or far side of the cut. You go from a flat presentation to catching one of those near or far corners. And as our associate, Mr. Super Dave Jewett, likes to say, it's like pedaling uphill on a bicycle and hitting a pothole. It just kills the momentum of that saw.
Well, despite it all, looks like Kate Witkowski was able to reel it back in.
Both cuts are good.
Extend your arms more, get that handle to the wood, let the belly of the saw and all those teeth work. You had a hang. Tell us how you recover from that. What happened?
Yeah, when you hang like that, and that was a pretty solid hang for me. It was like a double hang. I just try to lighten up as much as possible and then like go double speed from there on out, lighten up a little bit. Yeah, I too would like to see me get some full extension, but I've been really struggling with that event this summer, and that's what I got today.
We'll get it fixed. I trust you. Good job. Underhand coming up. Great interview. Thanks for being a sport. Kate Witkowski, Hayward, Wisconsin.
Kate Witkowski knows it, and you can see it here in this replay. There's a solid 1.5 feet of that saw, maybe a foot of that saw that is not entering the timber. You can also see her arms never really go to full extension. That is a moment of faith right there. When you absolutely commit to that stroke, your arms are at full extension, your shoulders are out in front of you, your head is down, and the handle of that saw knocks against the log. That is an absolute commitment and one of the hardest things you can do as a single buck saw operator.
Kate Witkowski, official time puts her in 5th place, that time of 18.52, and Emily Brown finishes 2nd place in that heat, 6th place overall. She stands with a 19.11.
Well, Tommy, notwithstanding are the PBs on the board.
The women's single buck is my favorite event. That one is, I don't want to jinx myself, but that one is easier for me. My dad, Dennis Down, he grew up, competing, and he was in the Steel Series, and he taught me how to saw.
Oh yes, they say weight shifts wood, and to be 130 pounds is maybe a disadvantage, but I use everything that I have, and it's all about timing and how you set yourself up and running the saw quite perfectly to how it's been made to run.
Single buck is also, I think, easier in training because you put your saw up, you make a couple discs, and then you're done. Where chopping is a bit more of an elaborate setup for training. So yeah, no, I would rather go out and do 4 or 5 single cuts and then do an underhand chop any day. But in saying that, because it's my favorite, I put a lot of pressure on myself.
I've got probably 4 different single buck saws, so learning how to run each one really, really proficiently has been an endeavor, but it's very, very exciting, especially when you figure out how to run things properly and put down that flawless cut. So that's what I'm looking for today.
Heat 5 of the single buck, your Timber Sports record holder, Lindsey Down versus Martha King, the 2023 overall champion. Samantha Graves, 16.
National champ, who has had a little bit of a slow start in the stock saw, but has got things back on track. And to begin this single buck competition, she was in second place in overall points, so she is right there threatening again. A lot depends on this single buck cut.
Martha King currently holds the U.S. record in the single buck. Lindsey Down, though, right on her heels, like 4 1/100ths of a second, I believe, separate these two athletes in this discipline.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Again, a very flat start on the cut for Martha King. Both of these athletes running the saw well until a hang-up from Lindsey Down on stand number 1. Hangs the nose of that saw, maybe lifted a little bit going into that push stroke. Martha King clean through the bottom, showing a 14:38 as her unofficial time. Got to see if this time holds. I don't want to. Watching the judge very carefully on this. This is a very significant time.
Oh, yeah.
That was just laid down by Martha King.
Have the official time for you momentarily. Meanwhile,
Nice job. Both cuts are good.
Martha, great cut. It's such a physical event. You're no stranger to physicality. You grew up playing basketball, softball, field hockey, and that athleticism just translates into this single buck. Right around 14 seconds. Talk about it. Awesome.
That's a good cut. I'm very excited about it. I wasn't sure which saw to use, and that one runs just a little bit easier, and not knowing what the wood was going to be like, I thought I'll stick with what's comfortable. They're both so close. I just needed to be smooth, and I felt like I was able to put pace to it, but also cut wood aggressively, so I'm really excited with that cut. Thank you so much, Mike Esch, for looking after me so well. I'm so grateful for all the coaching and support that I've had.
Couple things to tell you. 14.42 puts you in the lead. 14.42 also just broke the world record. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well, the official word just came down, 14:42, the official time, officially a new world record. As we watch this cut, watch the technique from Martha King. This saw loving this white pine, and Martha doing an exceptional job running the nose of that saw, disappearing back in the block a couple of times. Great technique, very efficient operation, very great running saw. Congratulations, Martha King. A statement on this STIHL Timbersports stage.
Well, her time displayed at the end was a 14.42. It was actually a 14.24, so a world record and then some. How about that effort by Martha King? Puts her on top. Samantha Graves in second and Caitlin Page in third. But what a time, a world record here in 2024 in the single buck for our defending champion, Martha King.
However, there is one heat remaining, and the woman who won here last year is coming up, and we're going to bring him out. On stand number one, from Honeoye Falls, New York, the winner of the single buck from 2023, Hanna Quigley. And our two-time overall champion from Spokane, Washington, Erin LaVoie.
Hanna Quigley's going to be on stand number one there for her single buck effort. Hanna Quigley, great effort last year. Got her in the silver for that. And, of course, the two-time champion, Erin LaVoie, came into this on top in overall points before we began this single buck competition. Looking to stay there, but, boy, she has got a tall order. Try to top a world record just set by Martha King with 14.24.
And Tommy, that's just, I don't know, that's just not a healthy mindset for me. That gunning for that world record, gunning for that time. Erin, Hanna, they just have to cut their best run. Chips fall where they may.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
That said, though, Tommy, both of these athletes do have the potential to meet or beat that time. Watching the elapsed time go by, it is looking very good for LaVoie on stand number two. Quigley very quick through the bottom of the log. It is LaVoie on two, not able to best that time of Martha King.
Nice job. Both cuts are good.
Great cut. That's what's up. You're up. You're up there in the points now. What's up? Great cut. I had Quigley. I had Quigley to the center prior, just before you just found more. You got over that saw. You really kind of came into your zone in the second half and just pulled away. Talk about it.
I thought I chattered the hell out of it, honestly. There was, I think, 3 or 4 pulls that it was chattery, and that's where I was just slamming the door shut on my face. But I hung with it. I did the best I could, and I just kept telling myself, how bad do you want it? And I was trying to get after it best I could.
And when you talk about the saw chattering, what is happening? Are you deviating on the angle? What in your mind happens?
I think I was possibly trying too hard, harder than I should have. And there's a window, and you got to watch the window and where the saw is cutting the wood. And I think I was just trying so hard that I wasn't paying attention to that. So I was lifting and healing, and I don't know. I messed up, but I won that heat. We'll see where we're at. Maybe we can get some overall STIHL points up, because I don't know where I'm at, and I don't like that. I want to know where I'm at.
We're going to get them up here right now. I see the points coming over, so we're going to get those announced. Great job, Underhand Chop, coming up all the way from Spokane, Washington. That's Erin LaVoie.
Well, a very point-hungry Erin LaVoie on stand number two. You can see her position is just a little bit higher than we saw from Hanna Quigley. Hanna Quigley running very flat, and this is going to come into play as she gets into the bottom of the log. She's literally leaning into that saw, getting some more pressure on it. She was complaining about the saw feeling chattery. One of the things, too, we got to remember is our athletes are cutting different amounts of wood as they move down through this log. Small wood, big wood in the middle, back to small wood at the bottom. The saw doesn't feel right at the top. It may clean up in the middle.
Erin LaVoie, a time of 14.96. That is a monster effort there, but not enough to overtake that world record time of 14.24 from Martha King, the world record as it stands right now. But boy, did that tighten things up at the top of our leaderboard in terms of overall points. We have got Martha King and Erin LaVoie tied with 30 points heading into the final discipline, the underhand chop, and Hanna Quigley, who was the silver medalist last year, in third place. Kevin, I don't think you want to go back on your rundown of the field pre-game here. I think it's working out just the way you laid it out. We will be back to resolve it all in just a moment.
Let's roll, let's go.
When we work in harmony, anything is possible.
Duluth Trading Company was born from generations who showed us that the only way to live life is to live it hands-on.
To do it the hard way. To take the trail untrodden. To take the damn thing apart, put it back together, and have the world be better for it.
We don't think that the go all in, dig deep, and get your hands dirty spirit exists in everybody.
We know it does. Duluth Trading. Take on life with your own two hands.
Your local Ace is the largest national retailer of steel power tools. Gas or battery, you won't find this full lineup at a warehouse store. You can find it at Ace. And right now, save up to $50 on steel trimmers and mowers.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
The pursuit of the perfect cut continues with our full line of steel mowers. From gas or battery to zero turns and push mowers, join the pursuit and find your perfect cut. Real Steel. Find yours.
Welcome back to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So much fun bringing you this live coverage all over the world. To everyone who wants to tune in and watch this 2024 U.S. Women's Championship of the STIHL Timbersports Series. We just finished the single buck. That was the order of finish in the single buck. Martha King, Erin LaVoie, Hanna Quigley. That is also the standings in overall points as we head into our final discipline. King, LaVoie tied, and Quigley in third place. Super Dave Jewett, we are set up for a good one.
Here we go, final event of the day. This is the underhand chop. In Heat 1, the winner of the standing block, Lauren Bergman versus Erin Cramsey.
Underhand chop on stand 1. They have been together pretty much all day long, competing against each other. These two West Coast competitors, Lauren Bergman, Montana on stand 1, Erin Cramsey on stand number 2, the underhand final discipline of the day. Lauren Bergman showed us earlier in the standing block she came to chop today.
Yeah, Tommy, that was a wake-up call for all the competitors, us up here in the booth.
Ready. Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
It's Cramsey on the right, Bergman on the left. Bergman throwing some very powerful hits into this block, looking to repeat her performance in the standing block chop. At this point, Tommy, though, it's a bit of a mystery. We don't really know what those hits are accomplishing until they get around here to the backside. There we see the first 2 blows for Bergman, and the back of this log puts 2 in one side, 1 in the other, getting a little bit of a spray and pray pattern here in the backside of the log. Cleans it up, settles it in, though, to a 2-and-2 pattern, reaches way down low. She's going to step away from that block. It looks like it is completely severed. This is one of those little bit of a tentative moments in underhand chop where if the block doesn't completely fly apart, it's up to the competitor to make the call if they feel like they're finished. If she had gone back and put in one more hit, kind of a security hit, then it would have been an additional time. You see one of the judges going over.
Yeah,
one of the judges went over and pulled it apart. As long as there are no fibers holding that block together, it's a
both
good time.
cuts are good.
Well, another great cut. It was just a year ago on this stage. Your time is equal or better to the winning time on this stage last year, 32 seconds. It used to be that no one was getting in the low 30s. I love the attack. I love the enthusiasm. I love Two Fists Skyward talking about it.
Yeah, this is my favorite event. We got some really good wood this year, so I'm sure that time probably won't hold, but it was a great day.
Your day is done. We're going to see you in the awards ceremony. Don't go too far. There may be some beer brought up on stage, so Dave and I aren't going anywhere. What a cut. 32 seconds. I can't wait to watch. Enjoy the rest of the day. Talk about your experience here in Milwaukee.
Yeah, it's been pretty fun. It's been a long journey to get here, and I got a lot of family watching back home. Hi, Aspen. Hi, Timberley. My girls are watching, and it's exciting to be here.
We're going to see you back next year?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. One more big round of applause. Coming all the way from the West Coast, Lauren Bergman.
What a chopping effort from Lauren Bergman, the stay-at-home mom. That's what she describes as her occupation. Obviously, she's able to get some training in as well. A lot of good technique on display and a very sporty time for sure. 32.42. That's something for the rest of these competitors to shoot at as we go into the next 5 heats of the Underhand Chop.
The underhand, underhand it's so technical and it's so powerful. I don't know. I'm still learning.
So I have to remember with the underhand being my last event that it doesn't matter what my previous events were. I have to focus on my time, my breathing, and keeping my calm through the underhand block.
That's the one that I really want to focus on to try to get better at. That's the one I've been lagging in. And so I'm kind of excited just to see. I feel very strong. I feel very ready. So we'll see how this all turns out.
Heat number 2 of the Underhand Chop from Round Lake, Illinois, Lindsay Down, and her opponent is Kate Page, Heppner, Oregon.
These two had a good duel in the single buck, ready to go at it again in the final discipline today. The Underhand Chop on stand 1, Lindsay Down, Round Lake, Illinois. Caitlin Page, Bend, Oregon area. Full-time firefighter out there, Wildlands firefighter, so she has had a busy summer so far. This is kind of a break for her to come out here and compete.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
And we talked about all the personal best times in the single buck event. One person who didn't have a personal best time was Lindsay Down, currently chopping on stand number 1. She's an exceptional single sawyer, and the wheels just fell off the cart for her. She's also a solid underhand cutter. She needs to grab as many overall points as she can in this event. Kate Page, though, is not waiting around for any sort of mercy as she gets well into the backside of that block, putting in pairs of hits, releasing big slabs of wood. Kate Page looking to drive, she thinks twice about it, goes back for one more chip to clear some wood. Now she's looking to drive. She's a little bit leaned over onto her right side. There it is for Kate Page, a 40.27 showing as her unofficial time. That would be a personal best for Kate Page.
Both cuts are good.
We got two exact op. Kate Page, all business. Firefighter Lindsay down. You're always laughing. Your underhand gets better every year. I know you don't really like it. You're a big single bucker, but your underhand gets better every year. Kate, talk about this underhand. And it's the last event of the day. It really is just an unleash of everything that you brought here to Milwaukee.
You know, I think today I just didn't want to break blocks, but I'm hanging on my single buck, so happy with that.
Lindsay, talk about this underhand chop compared to the standing block chop. I know you brought on another axe. I could hear, I'm close enough, I can hear the wood chips popping when you hit it. That really is a sign that your delivery is good, the accuracy, and the axe is working.
Yeah, I know. It's a big difference in the axes from the standing block to the underhand. I feel really great about my underhand today. I feel like I was pretty accurate and had strong hits, and today I like it. Who knows tomorrow?
Absolutely. Underhand, it can be a frustrating event. Great cut by both the athletes. Stick around, awards ceremony, and some brewskis coming out. We'll see them both again next year. Big round of applause. Kate Page and Lindsay down, but Lauren Bergman at 32-42.
Well, there you go. Laura Bergman stays on top. That 32-42 is strong. Caitlin Page, though, a 40.03, a personal best for her. Lands her in second place. Lindsay down a 51.68. So she's about 20 behind our leader right there. 2 heats down in the underhand chop with 4 more to go.
The underhand, obviously, you should know by then, kind of how the event has gone in whole for you. So you might have certain things you're thinking about in that respect. But for me, just going up there and something I work on, or I'm telling myself, is again, breathe, follow my lines, and make sure I'm standing the axe correctly, and if all that falls into place, the block will break when I expect it to, and it'll be a good time.
Heat 3 of the underhand, Alex Miller versus Emily Brown.
Alex Miller, Emily Brown, 2 New Yorkers going at it in heat number 3 here. Time to beat a 32-42 by Lauren Bergman, coming here from out west, making a splash in her first U.S. Women's Champion, STIHL Timbersports. Alex Miller on stand number 1, Emily Brown on stand number 2.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Tommy, these two athletes go head-to-head weekend after weekend competing around the Northeast. This doesn't feel like your average county fair wood chop, though. This is a whole different environment here on the Timber Sports stage. The big lights, the big sound, and Alex Miller around the back of this log, spanning the axe super well on those 2 opening hits, really getting a nice big chip drawn out of the backside of this block. Great clean cut. Emily Brown stepped out a little bit on the one side of the log. Block got away from a little bit. Miller just got to gather up one more hit. Alex Miller coming in around the 36-second, maybe 37-second mark. I'm worried there might be trouble for Brown on her block. Looks like the judge is happy with it. That one hit for Emily Brown that went from her perspective over to her right side on that second half got very close to the foothold. If you cut into the foothold area, even nick it, it's a DQ.
Both cuts are good.
Alex Miller, just watching the replay right here. Your technique's a little bit different. Some of the athletes throw the axe straight up. You throw it out and your legs bend and you just seem to pull that axe in, and it's a great technique. A lot of other athletes have studied your technique and it works for you. And you really, at the end of the day, you have to do what works for you.
Yeah, you do, Dave. And, I've trained with some really good people who are really good on this event. So I like to be a coachable athlete, and I take pride that I've really turned my underhand around. I had a couple fibers there, probably it was a couple extra hits, so it could have been a little faster, but overall I'm happy how I ended today.
Yeah, we saw the block severed at the bottom. It's sort of a gamble. Is it fully severed? But you had to take that final hit. What do you think? Was the block fully severed? Did you need that hit?
I think looking back, it probably was severed, but you don't want to take the risk here. So I didn't, and I played it safe and have a good time, so I'm happy.
Great decision, great day. Stick around. We'll see her again in the award ceremony. We'll see her again next year. Alex Miller.
Well, there you go. Official time for Alex Miller turns out to be a 38-13. Good enough to land her in second place. Emily Brown in third place with a 40.03. So Alex Miller, who had some high finishes here, was a little bit down last year. But last year she didn't step away, but she slowed down a little bit to get her family started. And she said, I'm back on Miller time now. And it certainly showed in that heat of the Underhand Chop. And we have got 3 heats down.
We're going to go with Heat 4 of the Underhand Chop. And this is Kelly Kerrigan versus Kate Witkowski.
Tommy, a 32-second time posted in the very first heat of this event. Nobody's really come that close yet.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Until potentially this heat.
Yeah.
Kelly Kerrigan
well
on
be.
stand number 1, Kate Witkowski on stand number 2. Both exceptional underhand cutters. Neither one of them really putting up a blistering pace, but don't let that fool you. The hits are going where they need to go. Kerrigan around to the second side, goes low then high, high, low. Big chip of wood is ready to fall out of it. There it goes. Took a little bit of encouragement on that second round. Witkowski, you see there again. I love to see what I call a small pile of big chips. Big slabs of wood falling out of both these blocks. Witkowski going to be looking to drive here, but Kerrigan off again already. 37 seconds. The unofficial time for Kelly Kerrigan. That'd be a new personal best for her.
Both cuts are good.
I got Kelly Kerrigan from Stratford, Connecticut. Kelly, I noticed when you got out, your block's in the underhand stand, and it was really crooked. You stood up there with this look of disgust, but at that point, you can't change it. Who sets the block up? Is that your job? Is that the dock crew? Let's talk about these the preparation leading up to this national title.
Sure, yeah. So we set up our own blocks beforehand, but we pull them out of the stands, and it's up to the wood crew to put it back in the stand for us. So all we go out and check beforehand is to make sure that it's situated right. I'm a left-handed chopper, so usually everything gets all twirled around for me, but I wasn't there to make sure that my footholds were level. So once I got up there, I was like, well, I'm chopping crooked here, so we'll see what I can do.
It was a great adjustment. You really took care of the situation. A great cut. I think you're sitting around second place right now. That was a great cut. You threw that axe out. That was power. I know you've struggled with some back issues, but you just seemed to blank it all out today. Great job.
Yeah, thank you. I was a little fumbling with my shirt, too. I don't know if you saw. I was like flying over the place, so a little distracting, but that felt like a good cut for me, so I'm happy with it.
Great job, Kelly.
If you look real carefully, you can see that Kelly Kerrigan's block is tilted towards the back of the stage. It's like a partially sinking ship. It's listing. That really throws your head off, especially when you go from one side of the block to the other. You were leaning towards your toes. Now you're being put back on your heels. So you have to really get settled in, place those hits. You can see she does a great job dealing with the circumstances, put the hits where they need to go. Didn't exactly have the pace, but put the power behind it. And again, put the hits where they need to go.
So Kelly Kerrigan, the outdoors enthusiast from Connecticut, improving as things go along here. Final discipline, the underhand chop. Kelly Kerrigan with time of 36.60 to tuck her into second place behind Lauren Bergman.
The underhand has probably been one of my weaker events. I still do a good job, but I definitely have been trying to improve my technique in that event. So over the last year, I've really focused on that. And over the winter, I think I've kind of broken it down, and I've been working on kind of building it back up with the form that I would like. So I'll have to see if I can pull the work together, for that underhand chop.
5 of the underhand chop, Samantha Graves and Hanna Quigley.
5th of 5 heats in the underhand chop here, a final discipline of the day. Going to be Samantha Graves on stand number 1 going up against Hanna Quigley. Stand number 2, another New York State showdown here. 2 good choppers.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Quigley on the right, currently 3rd coming into the underhand. Samantha Graves on the left, currently 4th coming into the underhand. Neither one of them without fault today. Both of them stumbling at different points. Last chance for STIHL Timbersports points here in the underhand. It is advantage Graves as she is first to turn. We'll see if she did the work in the front of this block. Quigley still has the option to reel her in and win if she put in a bigger front face. I like the back face of both these competitors. Graves definitely put the work into the front. There it is, Samantha Graves, as she has daylight showing through the top of that block as she goes into her final drive sequence.
Both cuts are good.
Just want to talk about awesome job of both you athletes. Hanna won the standing block chop. You're sitting in, got him right around 2nd or 3rd right now. You won that event. You two trained together. But you have to put the friendship on hold a little bit going into these chops when you're only 15 feet apart from each other. Tell us what it's like training together, going through this whole timber sports experience and this whole experience in Milwaukee. But first of all, how was your cut?
It felt great. I made sure that I, cleaned out the wood that I needed to break the bottom right off. The axe loved that wood, so it was really nice.
And we talk about Hanna, let's talk about standing block chop. You just love that event, but you use different axes, and you were telling me you got about 6 new axes this year. How important is that? And what's the difference when you get a new axe and you say, hey, this is an axe that's working for me?
Yeah, it's really exciting to get new equipment. It's a bit of a game because you want to play what's comfortable to you, how you know it cuts, versus what's really lighting it up when you test them out in training. So it's cool to have, it's like Christmas basically, to have a bunch in the box and be able to try them all out.
Great job from both of you. I don't think there's any word off season for these two athletes. As Hanna said, she never took a week off, and I have a feeling Sam has not the same, but we're going to see them again here next year. We're going to see them on the awards ceremony. Moments away, only 2 heats. Stick around. Great job from both of these athletes from upstate New York.
Here's a look at 2 fine underhand cuts going head to head. It was Samantha Graves around first and Samantha Graves to finish first. If we get a look at the end of her block, there was daylight showing through the top of the block. She went way past the center of the log on the front side of the block and eventually just has like a big hole knocked in the top of this log. Leaves her just one driving blow at the bottom. There it is. Daylight all the way through. Has to go back, put 2 drivers in the bottom to break through the log. Solid time for Samantha Graves. Did herself a whole lot of good. But again, that 32-second time from Bergman.
What a great race. Terrific race there. And Samantha Graves gets the best of it with a 34.96. Hanna Quigley right behind her with a 36.37. Now, the final heat of the underhand chop, and it all comes down to this. Tied at the top to start the underhand, Martha King and Erin LaVoie.
I've had some of my greatest successes with the underhand, but also some really crazy moments where I think, who was that even up there on that block? It's been a tough year for me because of some injuries that I've been overcoming, and those injuries in some ways complicated my ability with the underhand, but they also improved other weak spots with the underhand. So I just need to be calm and execute as I know how.
Final event of the day, final heat of the day, and it is coming down to one chop. Martha King and Erin LaVoie. Let's bring them out. King, Chatsford, Pennsylvania. LaVoie, Spokane, Washington. They are tied at 30 points each. The winner of this chop will go home with the national title. Bergman. A subplot here. Bergman looking for her first win at 32 seconds. The world record is 28. Everything on the line right here. One block under each opponent. One axe. Everything's going to happen. Sit back and watch.
Erin LaVoie with 2 championships. Martha
Athletes
King
ready.
with 3. The winner of this one takes it all.
3,
all comes down to this.
1, go!
The quintessential timber sports event, the underhand chop, and 2 quintessential athletes. Martha King on the left, Erin LaVoie on the right. Both exceptional underhand cutters. It is King, a full swing of the axe ahead of LaVoie into the backside, assuming they put in equal effort in the front of the log. It is, oh wow, Erin LaVoie, 23.88. Uh-oh. I'm wondering, Tommy, and I'm speculating, but I'm wondering if Martha King may have jumped the gun at the start.
Yeah,
because to my eyes, she seemed very fast on that go.
Well, those are just the posted times. They are not official yet.
But if you can hear the house program in the background, my exceptional colleague Super Dave Jewett is wondering the same thing.
I think we're down there looking at the tape, the playback of the start of this one here.
And Tommy, just to clarify, they is like everybody. All 3 judges are down there looking at the start.
We've set a new record for number of judges today, too. More history.
We have a lot. I mean, this is it's a very consequential cut. In the end, LaVoie with the faster time should get the win.
Yes.
But Martha King with a DQ will send her way down in terms of overall points.
Yeah, that's very important for the final podium tally for sure. But we know who the big honor is going to, but this is important business.
Okay, we were reviewing in the start on stand 1. Both cuts are good.
So Martha King, looking for every thousandth of a second she could, was right there on the go. Tommy, a lot to unpack out of this underhand chop. Let's take a look at these two go head to head. There it is, King around to the second side. opening blows look very good.
Unbelievable what happens here in Milwaukee. The championships. Martha on your far side. Her block is going to move. She needed one more hit, and they're going to bail to us. Unbelievable. In case you don't know it, a national title. In case you don't know it, you won the underhand. And in case you don't know it, you just smashed the world record by 5 seconds. 23. That's you. 28's the world record. 23 is your new world record. We'll see if it can ever be beat. Erin, you're going to look at the replay right here. Tell us what happens there.
I won.
And that's a...
I didn't know what to do.
Tell us about the backside of the cut. You knew how much was on the line. You knew it was world record pace. You knew Martha was right there with you. I love seeing the emotion pour out of you. What's going through your mind?
It doesn't happen often. I knew that going into this last race, it was going to be a hell of a show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Martha and I backstage were shaking hands and just like, God, this would be fun to watch, but we're the ones in it. And I went like hell. That was probably the hardest I could get after something. And I'm real happy with it. I probably should have and would have done an extra chipper on the end round, but I kind of gambled. I went for it. That's why there's probably 2 extra drives, but I just said, dig down, girl, and be as strong as you are, and fuck yeah.
Let's revisit. Let's rewind briefly. Last year, a disqualification put you virtually out of it right away in the single buck. Tell us what it's like having that rebound this year, coming back, the believability, the fight back ability, your 3rd national title.
I'll tell you how many times I read that rule book over the last year. Quite a bit. It's getting so many rules that I'm scared to tie my shoes wrong nowadays, but they're there for safety. They're there for reasons. I followed them. I didn't get any disqualifications, and I just played the game best I could. I did my job, and it paid off.
Great job. Stick around for the awards ceremony. We're going to be seeing her one more time. Your national champion 3 times from Spokane, Washington, Erin LaVoie.
Well, folks, in the biggest of the big pictures, this ties it all up. 3 titles apiece. Erin LaVoie on the near side, you heard she said, I just gave it all. There was nothing left in this underhand chop. Great clean cut. Maybe could have gone, like she said, and picked up one more chip hit to clear the bottom out a little bit. In the end, though, the outcome is all that matters. New world record and a new national champion.
And there's your final. There's the official times of 23.61. Yes, a world record to wrap it up and get the championship for Erin LaVoie. Martha King in second place, 25.76. No slouch effort there, but it was just too much Erin LaVoie. What an effort. One for the ages. And how about those overall points at the end? Even to score, as Kevin just mentioned. Now they each have 3 championships here. Erin LaVoie starts out with a win in the stock saw, has a little bit of trouble in the standing block, but then second place in the single buck, and wraps up with a world record win in the underhand chop. That's the way you win championships. And our U.S. champion for 2024 in STIHL Timbersports is Erin LaVoie.
Bronze medal for her 2nd time from Honeoye Falls, New York, Hanna Quigley. And taking on the silver medal from Chadds Ford, Pennsylvania, Martha King. And taking home her third national title. Big round of applause from Spokane, Washington, Erin LaVoie.
Champion Erin LaVoie, silver medalist Martha King, and bronze medalist Hanna Quigley. Samantha Graves and tighter in points. It goes to cumulative time. Quigley earning third place. Thank you all so much for coming out here. Let's get the rest of the ladies on the stage. Bring all the ladies out. Here they come. They've got the steins of beer. Yes, gentlemen, yes. All right, ladies, prost to German Fest. Congratulations, Erin LaVoie. All right, everybody, thank you so much for coming out. Huge shout out to the Duluth Trading Company, Ace Hardware, as well as John Deere. We will see you again here in the BMO Pavilion tomorrow.
We'll raise a glass of the stuff that made Milwaukee famous, the stuff people come to German Fest for Erin LaVoie. Erin LaVoie, she told us yesterday, yeah, I would like to win again. Every time I don't wind up on top, I take a year of a lesson in humility. That's maybe good for it, but enough is enough. She got it done today, Kevin.
She absolutely did, and what a way to end the day with the two of them head-to-head in the underhand. An amazingly tight race in that discipline, an amazingly tight points battle, and I can't say enough again about the depth of the field. We did see our top two rise to the top again, but Quigley, Graves, Miller, and Bergman, for crying out loud, just wedging herself right up there with the rest of the athletes. What an amazing weekend here at German Fest in Milwaukee. I can't wait for the championship next year already. It's just going to get tighter every year.
Absolutely, without a doubt. And Lauren Bergman, the only one who wrecked your bracket right there for us.
Bracket buster for sure, but I don't care. I love it. It's great.
Erin Bergman coming up here in her first event and doing very, very well. But Erin LaVoie, the third time she has won the championship. What a rivalry for the ages this has turned out to be between Martha King and Erin LaVoie. And for 2024 and for the next year, your reigning world champion will be this athlete from Spokane, Washington. Runs a gym up there, trains very hard, has been to Australia to get better, and she has gotten way better this year. Absolutely. Taking down Martha King to win the championship of the 2024 STIHL Timbersports U.S. Women's Championship. That's it from Milwaukee.